Hey everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tuckaway Marks Point, with a bit of a wet, windy Friday fishing report. Tried to get out of the heads, guys, probably about half an hour ago. Just got driven back to work with those showers coming up the coast. That southerly has basically hit down through Norhead into Nobbies now. And this is what's going to go on today. These southerly winds will increase, and obviously we'll have this coastal shower activity. Hopefully the showers will clear a little bit by tomorrow morning, and we've got some southerlies tomorrow, but some really nice weather on Father's Day. And of course a special Father's Day mention to all the dads out there, of course, on our one day in the year when maybe, just maybe, the lucky ones will get breakfast in bed. I'll be at work, but there will be some fortunate people out there. Been some good reports this week, guys. We've had some really nice weather. There's been some excellent fish getting caught. Obviously one on the farm, some really nice snapper, but some really nice snapper getting caught on the inshore. I just spoke to Stephen Grand Slender just in the shop a moment ago. They got a dozen fish down here off Cavesy, up to about 2 kilo on Tuesday. Some really nice snapper. Grant was telling me most of the better fish caught on floating baits down that Burley Trail, and that is exactly what you need to be doing this time of year on these inshore reefs. In and around that 22 to sort of 19 metre mark on the insides of these reefs, a lot of snapper. That nice Burley Trail, floating pilchards down the trail. They got a few big jackets as well. One thing that Grant was telling me had a lot of problems with was the cooter. The barracuda have come in to a few of these inshore reefs, but if you can fish through them, you'll get some very good reds, and these reds are scattered right the way up and down the coast, obviously in towards Merriweather Bar Beach and certainly in towards Nobbies. Back a Big Bend there, another very good spot for these inshore snapper we're now seeing right along the coast. The offshore scene, guys, out wide, for anyone that was thinking of yellowfin, is just not happening. A couple of guys did venture out last weekend, but all would just come back disappointed. Water temps down, but there's a lot of current on the shelf at the moment. It's running downhill almost 2 knots. So a lot of water pushing through. Again, some quite big sharks caught off our part of the coastline. I know, congratulations to Matty Smith and Billy J. Another fish on the weekend, over 1,000 pound, another 1,000 pound tiger shark caught off Swansea. Incredible, and there's a lot of whales now pushing down that shelf line. That's why those big tigers are certainly there. The beaches, it's been very tough on the beaches, guys. There are a few salmon around, and no doubt there's been a few drone footages of salmon getting bailed up by the dolphins inside Lucy's breakwater and up on sort of Blacksmith's Beach as well. But patchy, few salmon, the odd brim, and a few tailor. Now those tailor guys are starting to really build. There's quite a lot of fish in the lake, some big fish. There were some really nice fish over between Rathmines and Cole Point over the last few days, but back up towards Bolton Point, some really good fish there through to Carey Bay, back into Belmont Bay. This moon that went through last night, obviously the super blue moon, the second full moon in the month of August, has gone through now, and I reckon this run over the next couple of weeks you'll start to see a lot of these tailor gather up in big numbers and move basically en masse back out of the estuary. So you've only really got a few more weeks of tangling with these guys. There's some really nice fish on the rocks. I spoke to our good friend Justin Worley. He fished last Sunday in and around Merriweather. He got some beautiful drummer. I think he only brought his bag limit home of 5, but probably released another 10 fish. A lot of really nice fish, that kilo and a half, the odd better fish, but some nice brim off the ocean rocks. You're going to have to just be a little bit careful over the next sort of 24-hour period rock fishing. Sunday definitely look better, but looking forward for our guys who are going to fish offshore and certainly on the rocks, there's some really good weather coming through next week. And in fact, middle of next week, we're going to get a little bit of a bigger nor'easter. So that's really the first nor'easter of the season kicking in, probably in excess of 20 knots one afternoon. But warming temperatures in and around 25, 26 degrees. So really spring pretty much here now, and things are going to warm up quite quickly, I would think. Flathead are still in the deeper water, guys. We're waiting for these fish to start to move. So as these tailor start to move around now, and obviously mixed in with the tail, there's been quite a number of salmon back of the Earthwest Channel, back over towards Wangi Caravan Park and around towards Pulba. Quite a few salmon mixed in, chomping on this bait, but working the bait school is really going to be the key. and certainly vibes and soft plastics. So these flathead, over the next, say, 2 to 3 weeks, you'll see move out of the deep water, and they'll probably come through and start to move back into some of this shallower water. So with the warming conditions, I think September is going to look very, very good for our flathead fishermen. A lot of bream in the system, guys. For those guys, I was talking to Bobby Mowbray this week. He had a bit of a fishing session with Gary Hill. They got some beautiful bream fishing that run-in tide. And again, guys, the oily-based baits, pillies, mullet strips, that sort of stuff there, mullet gut, really proving to be the pick of it. But the key is, got to fish the run-in tide in those shallow water areas. But some beautiful bream around, and we're starting to see quite a few blue swimmer crabs. And this is a little bit of a build-up. We've seen it last year where our crabs started to build as we moved in through to September, October. Now, guys, I'm getting a lot of questions on what happened to the trial which was going on in the lake for the last 2 years with DPI. The latest I've got, because I've had a lot of phone calls on it, is nothing's changed. They're actually going to be monitoring it, and they're going to really sort of look at it over the next 3 years. So that experimental period where you could use 2 enclosed traps or 4 witches hats or lift pots, so basically meaning that you could have 6 in total, has continued, and that trial will go now for another 3 years. The other interesting thing that's come out, and it basically starts today being the 1st September, is that mulloway, the fishing has changed on mulloway now. So obviously, one, we all know that you can only catch 1 mulloway over 70 centimetres, but now we have a boat limit. So there is a boat limit, no matter how many people are in the boat, 2 mulloway per boat. So guys, you need to be aware of that, and I think there's also one being kicked in for our charter operators of 3 mulloway per boat. So these are rules that have come in and are coming into play from today onwards, okay? So you've just got to have to be super careful what you're doing and think about what you're doing. Plenty of Ludrick through the channel if you're a Ludrick fisherman. Again, some really good reports coming through. I certainly know down along the channel up from the boat ramp there been a hot spot over the last fortnight, and it has continued this week. So some great Ludrick to be had if you're a Ludrick fisherman. Guys, all in all, going to be a little bit of a tough weekend. Father's Day, of course, and plenty of things happening down. Want to have a little offers that I'm going to put up for the Father's Day, guys. And I know a lot of the mums and dads want to get beach fishing, and I know a lot of, certainly the kids nowadays have sort of missed something over the last 20 or 30 years where not as many are going beach fishing. So guys, for our dads, with Father's Day, we've got these Jarvis Walker 12-foot beach rods, normally $90. For Father's Day for our viewers, $49.99. Come on down and see us this weekend. We're here all weekend. Plenty of gift vouchers, and a big thank you to all the dads. I'll see you next Friday.